Welcome, Coelman Report Live, Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2021. Thomas Kimsey, CEO of Thomas Financial. Thomas, welcome. Lance Sexton, we all know him. Jordan, good to see you. Jordan and I have spent some time out in the middle of Death Valley, and we both went in, we both came out. So that was good news, I guess. And, of course, Katie Rose. Hey, let's start with you and Thomas. First of all, we have a ton of news. We're going to get to it all. But we wanted to invite Thomas and Jordan. Jordan, you are the new president of the National Rural Lenders Roundtable. Thomas Kimsey, tell us about that.
Thanks, Bob. Happy New Year to you. Glad to be on. Now, we're, worked with Jordan for a number of years, but we're thrilled to have him on our team here at the National Rural Lenders Roundtable. Can't be more excited about it with his leadership and expertise. It's going to be a real benefit to the roundtable. Given the agenda we've got this year, a lot on the plate, and we're excited where we're headed. And with Jordan on the team, it's going to be a good year. So with that, let Jordan sort of give us a little bit of an update on our legislative agenda we're working on.
Please, love to hear it, Jordan, please.
Yeah, so first let me just say I'm very excited to take the position. I've been working with Roundtable for a few years, and it's amazing how much effect that a group of dedicated people can have towards the USDA programs. These programs are a lot smaller than the SBA. There's not as many people advocating and fighting for them, and National Rural Lenders Roundtable is one of the key avenues to propel legislation that we need to make these programs vibrant. So right now we have a couple of fires that we're going to focus on putting out. The business and industry program, no surprise to any of us in the industry, is utilizing its allocation much faster than the fiscal year that would last for the full fiscal year. At the current pace, we expect funding to run out probably in April or May, which would then leave 4 or 5 months of no funding, and that's not going to be good for anybody. In addition, the USDA CARES Act program, so SBA has PPP. We affectionately know this program as BICA, Business and Industry CARES Act. That program had $1 billion allocation, and it's on its last $150 million or so. And keep in mind, these USDA projects can accommodate up to $25 million loan amounts. So that's not a whole lot of money that's going to last for very long. A lot of this utilization has come about because of 1RD, at least for B&I. So 1RD streamlined the regulations effective as of October 1, and that has caused a much greater utilization than maybe Congress felt it would be in the last appropriations. One of the other aspects is lenders get to submit to the national office, and the national office has a lot more control than they used to, and frankly they don't have the staff. So we're going to be advocating for emergency funding for national office staff. So those are our top 3 priorities. The fourth is going to be payment relief. So SBA borrowers are now going to benefit from 2 rounds of payment relief, having the government make the payments for them. USDA has not benefited from that, USDA borrowers, and for the B&I program, we're going to advocate that we should be on a level ground and fight for the next 6 months of payments to be made. So those are our 4 key things.
Jordan, does the program have bipartisan support in Congress?
Oh, yeah. I mean, more so on the Republican side than you would think. So, there's 20 or 30 rural states, and whether they're Democrat or Republican, the USDA programs greatly benefit their states. So we have a lot of buy-in from folks like Grassley and Ernst, as well as, across the Democratic caucus. In addition, the REAP program is the primary renewable energy and climate change fighting program that the USDA has, and we expect in the next round of funding, that program is going to see a big increase as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to correct one thing. I think maybe you misspoke. You said it's a small program. It's a small program in terms of lender participation, but it's a huge program for dollar amounts, correct?
No, just the opposite. So if you look at 7A, I think 7A will fund about $25 billion, and maybe 504 is another $20 billion. The entire appropriation for B&I is something like $1.1 billion. So when I say small, I mean it, and it takes.
But it's larger projects.
Oh yeah, the individual project can be much larger.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what I was referring to. Great. No, I'm looking at these numbers, Thomas. Last year you did $200 million worth of loans. That was only 26 loans, maintaining 2,100 jobs. Main Street lending, real quick, you did 4 loans, $137 million. Is that still active? Are you planning on doing any more of that, Thomas?
No, I mean, that's inactive right now. So unless the new administration restarts it, no.
And you're also PPP lender, 250 loans, 5,000 jobs. So good for you. Well, I encourage all of you on the call to consider USDA. It's a great sister program to SBA. You can do pari passu type transactions. Real quick, Thomas, what type of industries are predominant for USDA financing?
There are a wide spread of industries, Bob. For us, it's been a lot of assisted living, skilled nursing. And, as a whole, the portfolio, you've got a lot of hospitality in it as a whole at the agent.
And also, yeah, but anything rural, I know you do a lot of renewable energy. Jordan, that's your specialty, renewable energy, warehousing, manufacturing. So it's a very critical program for rural America. I appreciate you guys supported that. Hey, you're welcome to stay on, but I want to get into the news of the day. But we have some poll questions. Let's bring those up, Joseph. Do you do USDA B&I loans? And Thomas or Jordan, I'll let you answer this, Jordan. There's 4 types of B&I loans, correct?
There's actually more than that, but there are 4 primary. So B&I, REAP, Rural Energy for America, Community Facilities, and the Water and Environmental Program. There's a 5th out there called the Biorefinery and Renewable Chemical, blah, 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 9003 program.
Jordan, for those of you who answered no, what was it? What was that number, 56%? What would you tell them?
Well, if you're an SBA lender, you're a government guaranteed lender, and you should offer a full complement of guaranteed loans, including the USDA. It is true that a USDA loan is a little bit more cumbersome than an SBA loan. For instance, we do not have delegated authority. That's where folks like Thomas Financial can help a bank get through the process. But again, I would if I was running a government guaranteed loan department, I would want to offer as many of the programs as possible.
Yeah, and Thomas, and you participate these are larger loans, so you're welcome to participate these, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a smaller community bank and you don't want to take on the whole piece, you can participate it out. Joseph, let's skip this question. Go to number 3. I'm sorry, Thomas, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you've obviously got the guarantee just like on the 7A. So, your unguaranteed exposure is pretty small for most, your community banks as well. So that's, there are not a lot of unguaranteed exposure unless you're doing the larger $25 million.
Thomas, is that guarantee going to go up to 90% under the CARES Act programs?
Well, under the B&I CARES Act, the working capital, it is 90%, but under the traditional B&I program, it's still at an 80%, which is an increase from where we're at under the old regulation. But, that's a possibility what Congress may do under the new stimulus. So we'll wait and see if we get a 90% under the traditional B&I program. But 80% up to $25 million, we're very happy with that right now.
Yeah, and again, look at participations with that as well. Hey, Katie, let's bring you in. SBA touted the numbers last week. $5 billion, 60,000 loans. Katie, how many lenders were involved with that?
Oh, well, I don't really know off the top of my head.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It was just
yeah, I tried to quickly search it, but I couldn't find it fast enough. I've been mostly going through these IFRs and all the guidance that came out today, so I don't know the number off the top of my head.
3,000 lenders. So there's a lot of participation. Lance, do those numbers surprise you?
Not really, Bob. I actually thought it would be fewer lenders.
So did I.
Because it was just CDFIs for a while and then institutions under $1 billion. But that's good participation. The numbers will balloon this week with everybody getting involved.
Yeah. And that includes both first draw and second draw loans. So that was good. All right, let's go into it. Katie, what hit today?
Well, what didn't hit?
There you go.
So start off, we have an IFR on loan forgiveness. This is a 62-page interim final rule that consolidates pretty much all of the previous guidance that we've received in those, I don't even know, like 20 different IFRs we had on forgiveness before. So that's going to give you one place to go and look and find the information. And it's pretty simple to go through. Most of it's in a question and answer kind of format. So that's really helpful to go through and find what you need. Other than that, that IFR talks a little bit about the rules when you're using the new forms, which they've recently updated. All the forgiveness forms have been updated, and the new 3508S is going to be the one that's going to be used for those smaller loans that are going to be fully forgiven.
Katie,
Hey, Bob.
let me ask Katie this. I'll give it to you a second, Lance. Katie, did we get what they promised, the one-page certification by the borrower for loans less than 150? Did we get that?
Yeah, so that's going to be the 3508S. So what they've done is they've just basically converted that to be used for that, as well as you could use it for those slightly larger loans as well. But really the only ones that are going to get that blanket forgiveness are going to be the ones under the $150,000 limit.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Lance.
I'm going to have to check out. I just got a text. My mom was in a car accident.
Oh,
And I'm going to have to run up there and take care of it, Bob. Sorry, I'm going to have to check out. I'll see you guys.
I'm sorry. Our prayers are with her. Hope she's okay. Okay, Lance?
Thank you.
Okay. What else did we get? We also got a guidance on debt relief. Tell us about that.
So the guidance on debt relief goes over that the 1112 payments for debt relief for 7A 504, and there's actually a separate one for the Express program, which has slightly different rules. I'm primarily going to go over the 7A and 504 today. 7A and 504, basically there was $3.5 billion set aside for P&I payments. And that's going to include both the first and second round. So they've split it up into two rounds. If you haven't received, if your borrower has not received debt relief payments before, and they got a loan before September 27th, then they are eligible for their first round of 6 months of P&I payments. If they've already received that, and they had a loan in regular servicing status approved before March 27th, then they might be eligible for a second round of these Section 1112 payments. That second round is going to be for a 3-month period beginning on February 1st, and certain NAICS codes will receive an additional 5 months of payments directly following that 3-month period.
We've included all of this information in the dashboard. It should have been also sent to you. You can Google it, but that's all available. Tell us about the third big hit, which is, I confess I haven't touched it, but it's a 61-page white paper on first and second draws. Tell us about what they're doing on that.
So this is primarily for the calculating revenue reduction and maximum loan amounts for second draw. The first draw one, I believe, might have came out a day earlier, and I have gone through that one. That's going to mostly be on calculating your maximum loan amount for first draw. That one's pretty simple. It goes through the different types of businesses, and you pick the type of business and you go follow the instructions. I think it's step 1, 2, 3, follow it along the line. For the second draw, it's going to be a little different because they have to also prove that revenue reduction. In order to do that, they're going to have to follow different instructions first and then determine their maximum loan amount. So this white paper goes through, again, separated by type of business. You'll go through, find the type of business, and then follow the instructions. In most cases, the instructions are about a paragraph or two. Which will walk you through how to calculate that reduction, the maximum loan amount that they can get, and I believe it also lists all of the documents they will need in order to prove that reduction.
Very good. I have some questions to tell you. I'm going to hold off on these questions because I don't know the answers, and I know I'm not going to put Katie on the spot. I doubt she knows these answers as well. We need to read it, so we will go through on that. But let's tell you what Coelman's going to be doing. Joseph, can you bring up the slide on the webinars? There we go. We're going to put together 4 webinars based on this. The first one will be Monday. Will be on forgiveness. We'll go through exactly what you need to do for 150. Katie, I saw there was a borrower certification. So the borrower does have some responsibilities, but I believe that's for loans over 150.
So there is a certification form that came out. That's going to be based on, I don't believe we have a slide on it, but I believe, if I remember correctly, it's based on whether they were connected with another business that received a PPP loan. That's a very specific situation.
Yeah, obviously, we'll go through all that. And
Right.
next Wednesday, and Lance is going to be doing all these, by the way. And next Wednesday, we'll do one on both the first and second draw final guidance. Now, the good news, Katie, is we have all this stuff now. Now we just have to figure out what it says, right? I want to make sure we're...
Yeah, so we should have pretty much everything we need. Of course, the SBA might issue some clarifications or answer some FAQs eventually, but I think we have pretty much everything necessary to get these forgiveness
And I don't see
applications processed.
Yeah, and I don't see a change in administration changing any of this. There may be some tweaks, but I don't see. I know that the Republican administration, they were the reason why. There's a reason why these all hit yesterday or this morning. And then they wanted them out. So I don't see any massive repeals on this. And finally, the last one we're going to do is, this is going to be for your borrowers, and what the intent is, it's going to be more specific on 7.2 SIC codes that you can invite your borrowers, and that's hospitality and restaurants. And we can go through on how that affects your borrowers, both for draw and forgiveness. So that's our plan with that. So please go ahead and send your questions. We will start putting them together tomorrow. We do have John Riossi for tomorrow. And if you need all this information, as I said, it's in the dashboard, and it's also, you can Google it. It should be up there. Katie, thank you very much. Did Jordan and Thomas leave us, Joseph? I guess by the crickets they have. So.
Thomas is still here.
Hey,
Hey,
Thomas,
Bob. Yes.
come back on real quick. We got a minute here.
Okay.
Let me ask you the question, Thomas. PPP, I noticed are you doing PPP round 2, and what do you see as the big difference between round 2 and round 1?
We are selectively doing the second draw. I think the biggest difference is just being able to show that reduction in revenue and the smaller companies under 300 employees. So, but we are participating.
What do you see are some of the traps for lenders that we were not aware of last year in March and for second draw? What should the lenders pay particular attention to? Look at that. I see that smile. Yes, you're not allowed to criticize SBA or USDA. So just and you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
We'll just leave it at that, Bob.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
I will say there are traps, so let's be careful.
Yes.
But let's make sure we're following the rules. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement, Bob. Very well said.
Okay. Yeah. And look, the whole goal on this is to get money out to Main Street, especially for the shuttered businesses. There's where I live, the restaurants are still closed. My barber is still closed. And we want to get this money out. There is guidance that's in the legislation that says, hey, we understand this, and we don't want to be. We want to hold the lenders. We want them to act in good faith, but we also don't want to hit them with a hammer. We know guidance has come out from the Inspector General on that, and I think that some of that stuff will work out. So let's just make sure we follow the rules, and we're going to be okay. Thomas, thank you very much for joining us. What does 2020, 2021 look like for you for this year?
It looks good. We have a strong pipeline into the new year, so things are looking good. Just the things that Jordan mentioned from a legislative perspective, we're working really hard on that right now to make sure we got sufficient funding to get us through the rest of the fiscal year.
For the last 4 or 5 years, we've been able to do, Thomas Financial is the sponsor of the luncheon, and we bring in the B&I people, and they've done a great job with that the last 4 or 5 years. And then we dovetail that with the secondary market. December, we're going back in December to Washington, D.C., Thomas?
Yes, I think we'll be back in December, the 1st of December. So we really look forward to getting everybody back there in D.C. and having the USDA national office as well as some of our
And is it still complimentary, or are you going to charge a small amount of money? Have you decided what your price point is on that yet?
We haven't. We're hoping to keep it complimentary, but just to
Well,
service.
I know if you charge something, it's going to be like a couple $100, so I know it's not
Right.
going to be
Yes, be very minimal, but we're trying to keep it complimentary. But we do look forward to being back in DC in December.
Yeah, that's definitely want to do that. You get to meet all the national people, and we've always dovetailed that with a trip to the Hill. So
I would say, Bob, we are trying to do sort of maybe an hour, some sort of a little webinar hour update coming soon, probably in February, with the USDA national office. So
awesome. Well, let us.
We'll be in touch with you, and we'll get those dates out. That's something we're working hard on. We're just trying to nail the dates down with the national office. So
No,
that'll be
but the national office staff is staffed by civil personnel. So they're not going to be changing positions. The political is a little bit higher up, correct?
correct.
Okay.
We'll keep you posted on those dates soon.
Okay, as we said, I think this is a great program to consider. There's a lot of ways for you to participate. It's great for your borrowers. It could be good for your bottom line. Hey, thanks for joining us today for Coelman Report Live and for supporting America's and rural America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time. Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
Bye.